Hello there and welcome to the series of videos looking to go through the content of Maths A-Level in your first year. Here we're looking at the topic of rationalising denominators so you can answer questions from exercise 1F. So, rationalising denominators. We've just covered the video on surds and we're looking at rationalising the denominator. So rationalising comes from creating a whole number that's going to appear on the bottom of our fraction. So square root numbers are not allowed basically when we've rationalised the denominator. They have to only appear on the top because we're rationalising the denominator. So if it's 1 over root a, then the technique that we're going to use here is multiplying the denominator and the numerator by root a. Hopefully this is familiar from GCSE. If it's a plus root b, then we're going to multiply top and bottom by a minus root b. And if it's 1 over a minus root b, then it's just the opposite way round from the second term here. It's times the denominator and the numerator by a plus root b. Okay, so let's look at how we do this then. Here we have a 1 over square root of 3. Now to rationalise this denominator, we have to times the top and the bottom of this denominator here by the square root of 3. Remember that when you take a fraction and you times the same thing on the top and on the bottom, it doesn't actually change the value of the fraction. So here we're not converting this into a different number at all, we're just changing the style in which the number is written. So times the top and the top, times the bottom and the bottom, 1 times root 3 is root 3, and square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is 3. So this expression here is exactly equal to this expression here. All that we've done is we've made sure the denominator doesn't have a square root on the bottom. Okay, let's have a look at what we do with this one here. 1 over 3 plus root 2. Now that's this type of problem here. We have an a plus root b. So on the top and the bottom here, we're going to have to multiply by 3 minus root 2 and 3 minus root 2. So basically what you do is you take whatever you've had as your denominator, change the sign in between the middle, and then multiply that on the top and the bottom. Now in this case here, top times top, that's just 3 minus root 2, but be really careful when you do bottom times bottom and expand out the brackets as you would with a quadratic expression. So it's going to be 3 times 3, that's 9 times 3 root 2, that's going to be 3 root 2. 3 times minus root 2, that's minus 3 root 2. And root 2 times minus root 2, that's minus the square root of 4, which is minus 2. And what you should notice is that you'll always get a positive square root term and a negative square root term that are equal and will factor each other out. So the answer on the bottom here is just 9 minus 2. So it's just 7. So your answer here is 3 minus root 2 over 7. And remember here, never lose focus of the fact that this expression that we started off with here is exactly equal to this expression here, just written in a different way. We've times the top and the bottom by different values, so we haven't effectively changed the fraction here. Okay, let's have a go at another one then. So we've got root 5 plus root 2 over root 5 plus minus root 2. Now don't get fazed by the fact we have square roots in all of the different places here. You still look at that denominator term, change the sign, so it is a negative, would convert it into a positive, and times the top and the bottom by it. Don't worry about what's on your numerator. You only need to worry about that when we're multiplying out what you've changed from your denominator. So making sure that you're expanding by expanding these two brackets properly, and we're going to get 5 from root 5 times root 5, square root of 10 from root 5 times root 2, root 2 times root 5 is root 10, and root 2 times root 2 is 2, and very similarly on the bottom, and exactly the same has happened here again, we've got 1 positive root 10 and 1 negative root 10, which is exactly what we were going for. So simplifying what we've got here, we can group together the root 10s. We've now got 2 root 10, and 5 added 2 is 7, and now we're dividing by 5, take away 2, which is 3. Okay, a little bit of a puzzly one for part D here. We've got 1 over 1 minus root 3 squared. I wouldn't try and times by 1 plus root 3 squared on the top and the bottom. What I'd look to do is just sort out what we have got on the bottom first, and then look to rationalise the denominator from there. So expand your brackets and you're going to get 4 minus 2 root 3 here, and now look to rationalise the denominator. So times the top and the bottom by, take this expression, change the sign to a positive, and then on the top, times it on the top and the bottom. So multiplying these as you would with 2 brackets, and the top times the top, simplifying out your brackets, and then simplifying. So we're going to get 8 root 3 minus 8 root 3, so that should always happen. And then it's going to be 16 minus 4 root 9. Notice how root 9 is actually the value 3, so it's 16 take away 12, that's the 4. And what we can do here is we can simplify the fact that we've got a common expression of 2 on each of the terms in our fraction here. So we can divide top and bottom by 2, or effectively times by half on the top and bottom, to get 2 plus root 3 divided by 2. Alright then, your turn then. You have a practice at this then, and pause the video. Okay, well done with trying these then. Let's go through these answers. So for the first one here, we're going to times the top and the bottom by root 5. There's no need to change the sign on these ones where it's just a individual square root. It's just going to be root 5 over 5. On this one here, we're going to have to, well, what I would actually do here, I'll do it slightly differently to how we've done it in the past. I would change this here into a square root of 3 divided by, and then split up this root 15 into root 3 times root 5, and then cancel out factors of root 3 on the top and bottom to leave me with just 1 over root 5, just like we had over here. So then to rationalise this denominator, we're then going to times by root 5 on the top and bottom, just like we did over there. So it's going to be root 5 over 5. Okay, this one here, so remember what we do here is we're going to take 1 plus root 3, so 1 over 1 plus root 3, and times by this value on the denominator here, but with a sign change. So it's 1 minus root 3 over 1 minus root 3. So on the denominator, on the numerator here, it's just going to be 1 times 1 minus root 3. So that's 1 minus root 3. And on the denominator here, we're going to have to expand out a pair of double brackets. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times minus root 3 is minus root 3. Root 3 times 1 is plus root 3. And root 3 times minus root 3 is minus 3. So in this case here, we're going to get 1 minus root 3 over minus 2. And I'd potentially times the top and the bottom of the fraction here by minus 1 to make it root 3 minus 1 over 2. And I'd be much happier with that as my final answer rather than a minus 2 on the denominator here. Very similar for this expression here. Take what you have as your denominator, but change the sign, so it's now 4 plus root 5, and 4 plus root 5 on the top as well. So we're not changing the value here. And now we need to expand the brackets. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times root 5 is just 3 root 5. Remember, we can't mix up square root numbers and normal numbers. Then it's going to be minus 4 root 2. And then it's going to be minus root 10. On the denominator here, expanding out 2 brackets, we're going to get 16 plus 4 root 5 minus 4 root 5 and minus 5. So simplifying this, we're going to get 12 plus 3 root 5 minus 4 root 2 minus root 10. And then on the denominator here, we've got a positive term that will cancel out with a negative term. So cancel both of those out. And then it's just going to be 16 minus 5, which is 11. So there's the answer for the fourth question here. Okay, so once you've finished the video, have a go at exercise 1F. Remember, 90% of the battle here is to have a go at some of these questions on your own, and that's how you will fully learn how to do this topic here. Thanks for watching.